Good afternoon. My name is Gene Doherty, and my research paper for this class was called The American Federation of Labor and Its Impact on the Lives of Its Members, a look into the lives of New York, San Francisco, and Chicago union workers from 1900 to 1930. So this research really was kind of a look into the impact that labor unions had on its workers and on society in general. The goal of my research was to examine the goals and the work of the American Federation of Labor and its leadership, as well as to analyze the economic impact that the AFL had on its members and on society as a whole. In order to achieve this goal, I looked into personal letters and the papers of the first president of the American Federation of Labor, Samuel Gompers, and of his predecessor, William Green. I also looked into a lot of union scale wages and hours of labor provided by the Bureau of Labor and Statistics. They're a census that's put out every 10 years. So I was able to find a lot of really good, accurate information on union wages. What I wasn't really able to find was accurate information about non-union wages. So I wasn't really able to make a comparison between the two. As I looked closer into it, I kind of focused on one labor organization that had a local in all three of the cities that I was focusing my research on. That's the United Brotherhood of Carpenters. And what my research was able to find is that it's very clear that union wages rose significantly as unions became more and more powerful from 1900 to up till 1930. We'll see a dip in union membership in the mid-20s, and then in the 33, you're going to see another spike, and then it will peak in the 1950s. So I feel like I answered the question of the impact that it's going to have on its workers. As far as the goals of the American Federation of Labor, it was always a goal of Samuel Gompers to get as many people involved in labor union as possible. When he started the American Federation of Labor, he saw it as this overarching organization. It was a national organization, and they would invite other unions to join and to be a part of it. One of their goals was to support local unions in their fight for better wages and for better working conditions. And in order to give that support, they created a strike fund that would help striking workers pay bills and buy food for their families while they were on strike. But in exchange for this, they also held a very tight control over when a labor union was able to strike. Samuel Gompers believed that the strike was the greatest tool that workers had, but it had to be used effectively. It just couldn't be used at random. My research also included the work of Philip Foner. Foner has a series of books about the history of labor unions in the United States. It is a 10-volume series of books. I also looked at a lot of newspaper clippings from Chicago, New York, San Francisco, just to get an idea of the demographics of each of these cities. And finally, I found the reason I think this is significant is there has been a lot of recent studies that have looked into the effects of labor unions and how they have improved the lives of not only union workers but of non-union workers by pushing the corporations to pay higher wages at union jobs. It's going to have an effect on non-union jobs because they want to keep their workers from leaving and joining a union or from trying to organize a union at their place of business.